What is this? Do I have obscenely deep window frames, or like what's going on? I've been doing some soldering in my office lately, which by itself is very exciting. But the fume isn't great. It's springtime where I am, and I'm deathly allergic to pollen. So I can't just leave the windows open. That means I need to come up with a way to draw the fume out from my electronics bench while keeping all the windows closed. The original idea is to use one of these portable AC exhaust panels connected to an inline fan and then have some kind of hose just going from the bench to the window. But when I got these and put them in my window, what is this? Do I have obscenely deep window frames, or like what's going on? I don't have a circle anymore, so I can't put in the original connector to the hose. Or if I do put the hose adapter in, I can still close the window kind of, but it's incredibly wobbly and just feels like it's gonna fall out the window anytime. One obvious fix is to put something on the edge of the frame inside so that the frame isn't as deep. I did try that, but the problem there is you actually lose the protection that the frame gives you on the edge. Didn't really like that. So I've decided that I want to push this panel to the edge of the frame as it's supposed to and design a new adapter for this cutoff circle here. My first instinct for this adapter is just an extension for the original connector. So that on one end, it still looks like the original adapter, but instead of it fits in the circle, it now fits into this circle with a cutoff. And then at the other end of this adapter, it fits the original circular connector. But it turns out that this ledge and this flexure joint, which is just like these little tabs, these works really well when it's injection molded plastics, but it doesn't work that well when it's 3D printed. Mostly because all the stress is exactly where you don't want it to be. It has this very thin layer around the edge, and because there's a hose dangling off on the other side, this is the edge that's taking up all the stress, and it's putting a shear stress on between the layers, which is exactly how you don't want your 3D printed materials to be loaded. I tried to print this twice, and both times just failed miserably. So I figured this is a dead end and the whole thing just needs to be redesigned. And here's the new design. So instead of relying on the flexure joints for fitting and security, we're going to use custom threads. We got one piece on the back that has a decent thickness so that it can bear a lot of the stress that comes from the dangling hose on the other side, and it has like a big fin so that it won't get pulled out easily. On the other side, there are two pieces. One is for securing everything to the panels and the frame, and the other one is adapter to connect to the original connector. Here's our printed part. This piece goes to the back, and as you can see, that's the circle with the cutoff. And then on the other side, and this is kind of the nut side of the fastener so that you can squish everything in. This scallop edge here is not just for aesthetics, but also it's important for me to have a good grip when I'm twisting. And then on goes the adapter here, and the hose can be connected to it. The nice thing about this is that I can also take this hose off, this adapter off entirely, and put a cap on it. And this is what the back of it looks like. If you're thinking, gee, you could have just got a piece of plywood of the right size and cut the hole in it. Yes, I see you know.
A lot of better ideas are coming to me as I'm standing here, but why don't we let the past be the past?
And look, how pretty! Anyway, let's take a look at the bench side. So on the bench side, I basically have a table clamp connected to a gooseneck. This gooseneck I took off of a tripod. And at the other end of the gooseneck, I drilled a hole into a 6-inch to 4-inch hose adapter. This way I can cover a reasonably large area and also have some way of directing where that exhaust is pointing. And then it's just a 4-inch hose connected to the inline fan and a 6-inch hose connected to the window panels. And a quick note of the adapter between the 4-inch hose and the 6-inch fan opening. I bought the cheapest adapter I found on Amazon, and it's not a perfect fit. It's actually very loose. And some people use duct tape to secure it, and that to me is both quite ugly and ironically very permanent. So I ended up using a 1/16 inch thickness foam tape taped around the inner diameter, and that actually formed a perfect seal. Not only does it fit well and prevent any air escaping, it also makes it very easy to connect and disconnect it from the fan. And since this setup is going across my office and is basically a tripping hazard, I actually do often want to take it apart and tuck everything away when I'm not using this fan. So there it is, enough to keep toxic fumes out of my baby's bedrooms and pollen out of my office. Now I'm ready to do some serious soldering because I've got some exciting projects coming up. See you then. Bye.